In the United States, the House of Representatives is speeding towards a vote next week on releasing files related to the sex trafficking investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. It comes after months of fierce resistance from Republican leaders, but a petition to reach the necessary 218 signatures was achieved. That requires a consideration of the bill. On Wednesday, Democratic lawmakers released more than 20,000 pages of documents from the Epstein estate, including some that mention the president, Donald Trump. Andrew Hilliar joins us on the set. Hello to you, Andrew. Our international viewers might be spared from this, but in the United States, this is nonstop talk on social media, on podcasts, and on legacy media as well. Are we finally going to see the release of the Epstein files?
Oh, it's a good question. It's certainly an issue that's not going away. So as you mentioned there, Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, saying that there will be a vote on releasing the files as early as next week after, again, months of resistance from Republican leaders. Just a first point on how we got here. This was really triggered after on Wednesday, a Democrat, Adelita Grijalva, was finally sworn in as representative for an Arizona congressional district. Speaker Mike Johnson had been accused of deliberately delaying that swearing in. And that's important because her signature, the 218th signature, was the decisive one for the discharge petition, which forces a vote on in the House on releasing the Epstein files. Now, a point on the discharge petition. This is a rarely used mechanism that is used to sidestep majority party leadership in the House, and that's triggered the countdown for this bill to hit the House floor, and it will happen next week. However, even if it passes the House, it will still need Senate approval, and even then it would need Donald Trump's signature. Those are two things that are unlikely to happen, but that's not the point. The bigger point here is the contentious battle that this is already setting up in the House, because even a vote in the House, could be a political disaster for Trump, and that's because his political base, as we know, MAGA, has been yelling for more transparency and openness regarding these Epstein files. So Donald Trump and the Republican leadership trying to shut this down does not look good.
Trying to shut this down despite some Republican lawmakers defying Republican leadership and the president himself.
Absolutely. And this is a rare example of that happening. This issue has been a huge headache for House Republicans. Their base wants the files released, but that would defy, as we mentioned there, Donald Trump and the GOP leadership. Trump has made it clear time and time again he wants the issue shut down. So you have these Republican lawmakers torn between loyalty to their constituents and to Donald Trump. And what's happened here is that you have 4 Republicans who have, despite this pressure, gone ahead and signed this petition. Who are they? Well, that's Thomas Massie, he's actually one of the leaders of the petition, and 3 Republican women. You can see all of those Republican figures on your screen there. The women are Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And there are even reports, Will, that the Trump White House earlier this week ramped up pressure on Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace. Lauren Boebert reportedly even summoned to a meeting in the White House Situation Room alongside the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI. Trump reportedly also reached out by phone to Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace. Both women, however, refusing to take their names off the petition, leaving their names on the petition, meaning that with that 218th signature that we mentioned there, lawmakers can no longer remove their names because the petition is frozen, and the countdown is now on for the bill to come to the House floor for a vote. And just one final point, Will. What's interesting is that Republican efforts to thwart this vote have essentially backfired. They initially voted to extend the investigative work of the House Oversight Committee, hoping that would convince their constituents that they were being transparent. But in spite of itself, this committee has produced revelations that have intensified pressure to release the Epstein files, and we're seeing this culminating with that House vote next week.
All right, Andrew, thank you very much.